Hey, it's Richie and Wes.
He's Richie.
And he's Wes.
And this is our show. Welcome to our podcast. We are a show as flaming as the Pacific Palisades.
Oh.
Okay, jokes aside, everywhere in Los Angeles is on fucking fire.
Quite literally.
North, fire.
Yes.
East, fire.
Yep.
West, fire. South, fire. Everywhere. When we're right in the middle in West Hollywood. I had to, my family, every time there's a fire out here, no matter what, they're always like, are you okay?
Everyone,
And
yes.
Usually it's 30, 40 miles away.
We can't see it. We can't smell it. The sky might be a little bit hazy.
Yeah.
And that could be pollution.
We get like an
who
extra
knows?
red sunrise or something.
Yeah.
But at this point, like yesterday, I was trying to take a screenshot of my area using the Watch Duty app, which tracks wildfires, basically.
Yeah.
And I had to pan in very close to my blue dot, just so it didn't look like everything around me was on fire.
Literally, yes.
I was like, no, we're fine. Pan in, pan in, pan in. There we go. I was like, why are you in a red zone? No, it's yellow, technically.
Yeah. Which is still scary.
Oh my God. Speaking of scary, last night, right in our neighborhood, in fact, just a few blocks from the Wonder Studios, Runyon Canyon burst into flames.
Out of nowhere and spread over acres within 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, it went from like
and it was
10
visible.
to 20 acres very quickly. And
It
then
looked like it was like a mile
50.
away.
Yeah.
Like that's how close it was.
It would actually, it lit up the fucking sky. Everyone fucking panicked and went totally crazy.
Yep. Evacuation warnings were going in left and right.
Mm-hmm.
I had 6 people at my house last night until this morning.
Yeah, because where do you fucking go?
Exactly.
And they do quickly spring up evacuation centers. Like there was actually one over at the Pan Pacific Park.
Yep.
But who the fuck wants to do that?
Yeah.
I don't want to stay in some gymnasium.
Yeah, with a whole bunch of people you don't fucking know, like
very awkward.
freaking out and nowhere to plug your phones in or anything. It's like,
and, you know, the thing too, unless you've been through it and you don't really recognize how quickly you can't just get in your car and drive away.
no.
Because everyone is in their car trying to drive away.
Exactly.
And
Along with people just getting home from work or just,
right,
like
you have no idea what the fuck's going on.
It's not like we're in rural fucking Indiana
No.
and there's no one on the streets. Like, no, people are on the streets all the time here, no matter what. So you're already going into a traffic situation.
Total roadblock, complete like jam, and because everyone's trying to go a different way, and then if people are coming down the hill, like where we are in West Hollywood, we're at the kind of the bottom of the Hollywood Hills, so those little teeny tiny little streets that go up the hill that are one way, which is why even if I got super like richer than I am now, I wouldn't want to live up the hill. I hate those roads.
Right. No, they're scary.
I don't like those roads on a clear fucking day.
They are. I prefer to drive them at night because you can at least see the cars coming
At
around the
least
corner.
you can see the headlights. Right.
Yeah. During the day, it's like
terrifying.
yeah, because they're not 2-lane streets. They're usually just they're one-way streets that you have to get over to let someone come through,
With
and then
cars
you have to
parked on both sides.
Exactly. It's a whole situation.
Yeah, just like if someone's like, "Oh, I'm throwing a party in the Hollywood Hills," I'm like, okay, let me think about it. So obviously, people are trying to get out of that area, and they can't.
No,
They're blocked.
You're stuck.
They're stuck. So now you have mass traffic, blockades, cars everywhere. Oh, how the fire truck's going to get in?
Yep, exactly.
I will say though, they were on that shit.
On
they were fucking quick.
it. Helicopters in a
Quick.
heartbeat.
Helicopters.
Dropping water drops.
Yes, which we're very lucky because the winds here have been
100 miles an hour.
and you can't put helicopters in the air
No.
when the winds are like that. Last night they dropped off by 5, by 6. That's when the fire started running.
Mhm.
Had that fire started earlier, we've been fucked.
Completely. Because the winds had just started to die
They
down a
just
little
died
bit.
down a little bit, not completely.
No, they were still alive, but it was like a normal breeze.
Yeah, enough where you could get the helicopters in
Yeah.
the air and drop the water. And I would say the response on the ground too was really fast because as much as there was congestion and blockages and stuff like that, they emergency services blocked off roads. They kind of formed a line where they blocked off all of Sunset and routed people, and they were directing people which way to go, so people actually could get out of the area. And I would say, like, after the initial chaos, I would say within half an hour, they were
dousing
the roads.
it. Yeah,
they were dousing the fire too. But the roads were
getting pretty clear. Yeah,
clear. And yeah, the fire was being doused within an hour or two. You could tell that they had reduced it to
dramatically reduced it. Yeah,
much
big ups to the firefighters. My goodness,
my God, the precision in which you have to act in those situations.
I couldn't imagine. Especially with this wind going on. Because normally there's not really wind.
You've got wind. You've got traffic. It's dark.
Yeah.
And, you've got those embers flying around. So even if you're in one area where you're able to control something, then another fire might start hundreds of yards away, a mile away.
Yep.
So that's actually what happened a couple blocks from here is a ember ignited the top of a palm tree. And I know palm trees are very pretty. They are. But when you're in a dry season like we've been in for the last year?
Yeah.
All a palm tree is like dusty plastic at that point.
That's all it is.
When they catch on fire, they shoot off from the dirt and they shoot off sparks.
Yeah.
Once they catch fire, it's like fireworks.
It's like a firework from every single branch.
Yes, in every direction.
Yeah.
Dropping on people's roofs. And thanks to some fast-acting residents, they were able to, with someone's garden hose and a ladder, worked on putting out that palm tree. And basically, I think saving the neighborhood from
100%.
At least those two houses catching fire, if not
the whole block.
More shit. Because once the top of the palm tree catches fire, if you don't contain that, the whole tree from top to bottom catches
and then it
fire.
falls over, and then it spurts off more embers, and then everyone else's property gets on fire.
It's very panic-inducing because you can see that tipping point. You can see that moment where if it doesn't get contained right now, it's going to exponentially get worse.
Yep.
Although because I know there's a spigot in the front of the building. So I was like, okay, let's make sure this is working.
Right.
I will be right out here with that fucking garden hose.
Exactly.
Hosing down our rosemary bush before. Hell no. So I did end up staying just because I was just below the warning line.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, I saw the map last night. Like you were in the white area, right where right where it was about to turn green.
Right where it's about to turn yellow. Yes, and I figured one, there was so much congestion, I wouldn't have really been going anywhere anyways. But two, there were people who really needed to evacuate and get somewhere else. So, and the emergency vehicles and everything else. Why be one more cog in the wheel? I used that time to prepare myself. I packed my bags.
They're still packed?
They're still packed. They're right there. And I've got bags in the car. Got my passport. I've got my meds. I've got everything that I possibly need to go on a moment's notice. But holy shit.
No, it's been crazy. Pacific Palisades is gone.
Oh my God.
Which that's just insane. And I don't mean a couple of mansions. No. The entire neighborhood
the whole coastline
is burned down. The entire coastline is burned down. Oof.
One time I accidentally set my trash can on fire.
Oh my God.
Don't ask.
I'm not going to.
Point is, my trash can was on fire, and my dumbass was like, well, it's just a tiny little trash can, so I'll go get a big gallon of water and just douse it out. Do you know what happened? The flames parted for the water.
Yep.
It came back together and continued to burn.
Exactly, yes.
I was like, water? That did not work. I had to take what you should do, I know now, use a towel.
Yes.
Flatten it out. Deny it of oxygen.
Exactly. Delete the oxygen.
It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a fucking mess.
Yes, but delete the oxygen, and that's what you need to do.
So invest in a fire blanket, number one. But two, you can't just throw a glass of water on a fucking fire. It doesn't do shit.
No. And this is the last I'm going to talk about this, but we say eat the rich all the time. I get that. People need to look at the bigger picture here. Just because someone has a nice house somewhere nice doesn't mean that they can afford to rebuild things. Also, if you haven't been watching, a lot of these insurance companies conveniently just X'd out their fire protection.
Days before.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When things were just kind of getting started, then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, not everyone that lives in Pacific Palisades is Jamie Lee Curtis.
No,
or
exactly.
whatever.
Or
There are
it's their
people
beach
who have-
home or something.
Right.
They have another resident.
And even so, like,
you're still losing something that needs to be rebuilt.
well, and plus all of your belongings and your memories
Yes.
and your photos and your.
Yes.
I mean, I was packing up my Wonder Woman memorabilia because I was
Exactly.
like, I cannot replace my Linda Carter sign.
Yes.
Shit, I can't, like, this. It's irreplaceable.
Yes. And those places have schools,
Mhm.
markets, as much as I can't stand them, churches, landscapers, people
Yeah.
that don't even live in the area that this is their livelihood, that now they don't have a job.
Mm-hmm. And there's also a lot of generational homes as
Yes,
well.
exactly.
People who, sure, maybe they're certainly comparatively well off. I
Yes.
realize, like, you know, to live and thrive in California, you kind of have
Mhm.
to be at a certain threshold of whatever. But a family that's been living in that home for 25 years
Yes.
many of them can't afford just to buy a new home in that
Exactly.
same neighborhood.
Or a lot of them are elderly or
Yeah.
disabled.
Yeah.
Like, think about those things. It's not just, oh, well, I saw some comment, someone saying, oh, yeah, all these predators, blah, blah. I'm like, there are normal people that live up there. There are people that are disabled, that are elderly, that have health problems, that don't have anywhere to go, that need special assistance.
There's multi-generational homes
Yes.
as well. People that live with their kids or their parents.
Exactly.
Their elderly parents.
Yes.
You know, they have the grandma suite attached to the house.
Exactly. Like, there are so many factors that people just gloss over because they just automatically assume celebrity. They can just afford to build something else. And yeah, some of them can. Don't get me wrong.
Some of them can, but that doesn't mean they can replace
Yes.
precious items.
Yes, and that they're not traumatized and they don't have children and things of that nature that they need to take care
They're
of.
pets.
Like, so many things.
Oh.
Like, it's, ugh.
Yeah. Well, that's the Los Angeles Hellfire Gala.
Literally. Then we got an evacuation warning that was an oopsie earlier. As if we're not all on edge as it is.
I feel so bad for whoever did that because
Yeah.
when you're in an emergency situation and you're responsible for doing something like that, what they missed was just what specific area.
They sent it out to all of LA
It
County.
just went out to all of LA County.
Which, again, when all of LA...
That's
normally,
18 million people.
like, and normally when it's like something far away, I would have been like, oh, this must be a mistake.
Right.
But because of the severity of the situation this week,
Mm-hmm.
I very much was like, fuck.
What now?
Did an ember fly and like hit a tree nearby and like the whole neighborhood's going to be on fire? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Right.
normal circumstances, there's one fire, it's way in the hills. Normally, not even by homes necessarily. This time, the whole fucking city's on fire.
everywhere.
So
It
we're
is
all on edge and on
everywhere.
high alert right now. And so when I saw that, I'm like, shit, what fucking now? Like,
Mm-hmm. Well, and plus,
and like, where the fuck do I go? Because I just housed people last night.
yeah,
I'm like, I guess I'm going to Palm Springs with my parents. Like,
that's what a lot of people had to do is they had to like go to Long Beach,
Yeah.
or the Palm Springs, or something like that because also the air quality is fucking terrible. So they just wanted to get the hell out of town. So that's what they did. But what's also, and I hope they catch every one of these motherfuckers, people who are now deliberately setting fires in
they always
par-
happen.
empty parking
It always
lots
fucking
and,
happens when
you
this
know,
happens.
all this shit that they're doing so that they can create more panic so that the police and emergency services are distracted so they can go and loot people's homes. Because what do they tell you when you leave your home to evacuate? They tell you, for the sake of the firefighters, to leave your property
Yep.
unlocked. Because if your home is on fire and they need to get in, if your door is unlocked, it's far easier to get in
Yes.
and get the fire out versus having to try to break down some fucking, double enforce fucking door. Because, everything out here, also, we have to have fireproof doors and we have to have, the frames that are earthquake proof and whatever. You can't just kick that down.
Yeah.
So they tell people when they leave their homes, when they evacuate, if they're in that fire area, that they should leave their property unlocked.
Yes.
And so people go in and steal shit.
Just
Hope they catch every one of those motherfuckers.
who can even think about going there? Like, just
The kind of people who deserve to get caught in that fire and be burnt to a crisp. I don't care. I said it.
Yep. My gosh.
And meanwhile, in West Hollywood,
Oh God, did I miss something?
well, I don't know if where they're at now, but there is a gang of coyotes that has been regularly seen in West Hollywood Park.
There are coyotes everywhere.
Well,
I've been
probably
hearing...
because they're getting burnt out of their homes.
No,
in
even
the
before
hills.
then, though.
That's true. Yes.
Just
Yeah,
like
they're
a week
sneaking
or
down.
like when you've been gone, I've seen them
Mhm.
everywhere. I'm like, is that a fucking No, it's a coyote. That's a
Yep.
coyote.
And if you see one, there's
There's a pack.
more. There's more. They're usually not solo adventurers. So, but yeah, apparently there's a whole gang of coyotes that are in West Hollywood Park, which, by the way, is nowhere near any type of foresty area.
Yeah. No, they've been coming down for weeks now. I've noticed them literally everywhere. It's crazy. Oh God, not to like pop back on to the fire thing,
Go for
but
it.
in some positive news and what people should be doing. Harping back onto my Eat the Rich situation, these rich people are doing the right thing. Halle Berry and Sharon Stone have packed up their entire closets and giving it to Coop to donate to anyone that has lost their belongings. And Michelle Pfeiffer chimed in and said she'll be doing the same thing tomorrow because she's not in town right now.
If I see someone in the Batman 2 Catwoman outfit,
Yep, they're cleaning out their closets and they're encouraging other people who can
fucking
to
good
donate
for
to the store
them.
Coop because they are donating clothes to people who have lost everything. So,
Well, right, because even last night when I was packing up my shit, I was like, well, I can't pack everything.
yeah,
I can't take it all. I mean, it all won't fit in my car, number one, but also, like, you're kind of in a hurry. So you have to take the things that I literally took all my work clothes because I was like, at least I'll be able to go to work.
yeah,
And I also packed socks and underwear
yeah,
just so I had, because I was like, well, that would be bad to be displaced and not have any like socks.
yeah.
So yeah, you can't take it all with you. Yeah, we can say Eat the Rich, but the menu options
Are very different.
are not open to all of the rich people because some of them are actually cool. And good for them.
Yeah.
I do feel like these are the kind of times and moments where you do see the best of people.
Yes.
Sometimes the worst.
You can see the worst,
Yeah.
but yes.
But I do think it brings communities together. It makes people more active. I know I was certainly on my group chats talking to people about where they could go or where they could stay or what areas were to avoid. Like we were all communicating with each other as to be like, almost everyone in the group chat was like, well, I'm not in that area, so come stay with me if you need to. Or, kind of like you did with you. Of course, Richie had told me as well to...
I'm like, we need to come over.
I would have been number 7 if I needed to evacuate. But yeah, so I think that it does certainly present the divide.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what someone's income level is. It really presents that divide.
Yeah.
Some people will rise to the occasion. And let's focus on those people.
Yes. Shout out to Ed. You know Ed and Jarrell. Jarrell's been on the show before years ago. But
Yeah.
Ed was on the talk. Now he's on the Jennifer Hudson show. But I hit them up because they live in the Hollywood Hills. And I was like, and this before Runyon
Mm-hmm.
like even spurted up, but I just wanted to make sure that they were okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they were both at separate times were just like, oh, we're fine. Thanks for checking up. You know, Ed's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for the delay. I'm like, please, what do you, he's like, he had to spend all day long getting the cast and crew of the show hotel rooms because a lot of them live up in affected areas. And then an hour later is when Runyon hit up, and then they had to evacuate. Their house is okay, thank goodness, but it was very close by. They could see the flames right by their house.
I am telling you, we got so fucking lucky last night because no structures caught on fire. And that's right in an area where you've got Magic Castle, Hollywood Highland. You've got, granted, like all the homes and stuff too.
Yeah.
But you have all
everything
these
is right there,
iconic Hollywood landmarks,
and tons of people.
Oh my
tons
God,
of
so
tourists.
many people. Yeah,
some people that couldn't fly out that are stuck there in those hotels.
Right, all
and
those
whatnot.
hotels. Yeah, everything. And that's also an area too where they have the hostels and the homeless encampments and the like all that stuff too.
It's so many different things to think about. Ugh.
Yeah. It was pretty wild.
Oof.
You know what else was wild? I feel like anything else by comparison is so tame.
It is.
This point.
After this week,
Jesus.
We thought we were going to come back with like a fun New Year's show, and then nope.
So far, 2025 is going as predicted.
Uh-huh.
Because meanwhile,
a complete shit show.
And I know that we don't normally get political on this show, but in all of the, you've got snowstorms, you've got fires, you've got obviously people who are in poverty, and you have rising grocery prices, and you have price gouging, and you have all these things. Our federal government has decided that their number one priority is focusing on the less than 1% of athletes who identify as transgender.
Oh, God.
And have decided that their number one first priority in the chamber is to ban any transgender individual from participating in sports. That's what they're going to focus on right now. I thought we were talking about the price of milk and eggs and gas.
Yeah, so did I.
What happened to that?
What happened with that? Are they just affordable all of a sudden? Because, I mean, I haven't seen any price drops anywhere.
No. Yeah.
Well, that's some more good news today. Nah, fuck it, it's 2025. Everything's going to hell anyways. Anita Bryant died.
Oh, no. Sorry, I'm very... I'm raspy from all of the smoke inhalation.
Famous anti-gay rights activist Anita Bryant has died today.
Fuck her.
I said I was going to throw a gay orgy, the biggest and gayest ever, in celebration.
This is the bitch. If you don't know who Anita Bryant is, you definitely need to Google along. This is the bitch who started a personal campaign against homosexuality, really, which has rippled through all the way to today. Because it caught on, and because she was the one who made it about, oh, the children. Oh, won't someone think of the children? And she basically was able to appeal to probably many people who normally would have been like, whatever, people can do whatever the fuck they want in their bedrooms. But because of the particular propaganda that she used, she started a whole movement against the queer community.
And famously got a pie in her face on national television, which is great, during an interview while talking down about gay rights.
Yeah, fuck her. Fuck her for living so long.
That they always do.
Why is that?
I don't know, but it's horrible.
Seriously. It's is it the bitterness that keeps them going?
I'm pretty damn bitter, so I don't know. Like, I don't understand it.
True enough. Well, Let us know where she's buried so we can dance on her grave.
Yep, so that was some good news today. And while I never really wish death upon anyone on this podcast, you know what? She deserves it.
Yeah, fuck her.
Yep.
Fucking fuck her. Gross.
Oh my god. I was just looking up her age, but it doesn't really matter. But you know how when someone's trending and there's always that Denzel watching like, oh, I saw someone trending, but you know,
Oh, yeah.
but
gif,
you know,
the
it was just
Denzel
like
gif.
whatever. Someone said I saw Anita Bryant trending. Oh, found out she was dead. Oh, the internet never changed.
Oh, well, God does.
Except for TikTok that might be leaving.
We're on a countdown for TikTok.
We are.
We are on a countdown.
The 17th, I think, or the 19th of this month, where the Supreme Court needs to make a decision. Otherwise, they're going to shut down.
And they probably will because
Yes.
of all the propaganda that helped this fucking loser get reelected again.
Exactly.
Also, what's hilarious to me is even if, and it won't, but even if the ban were to go into effect, it doesn't actually affect anyone who's already downloaded TikTok.
Exactly.
It just means anyone who's going to the App Store won't be able to find it because it won't be available. If
Yes.
it won't, but if it did go through. So actually wouldn't affect anyone
Who already has an account.
who already has TikTok
Yeah.
and already uses TikTok. That's how effective our government is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pivot to someone we love. Because I have become obsessed with an actress who I grew up with. I saw her in a number of movies growing up. She's an iconic actress. She's done so many huge films, really from the very beginning of her career, including St. Elmo's Fire and Ghost.
Okay, now I
and
know where we're going.
Indecent Proposal and like all these fucking films. But I never really knew anything about Demi Moore.
Oh, gotcha.
I never really knew anything about her. I certainly knew she was a good actress. And I
Yes.
saw a lot of her movies, and she happened to, especially a lot of movies that tapped into some pop culture zeitgeist
Yes.
where, I mean, she made headlines around the fucking world just for appearing in a bikini beside Cameron Diaz in Charlie's Angels 2.
Yep.
So
and shaving her head in G.I. Jane.
Yes.
That was a huge thing back in the day.
Yeah, sometimes...
Because actresses did not do that, especially pretty ones.
No. Yeah, sometimes weird shit was far outweighed the actual merit of the movie or whatever. But she is having an incredible renaissance because of The Substance, which I know we've talked about on the show before. And it's not a movie that's for everybody.
Yeah. I still haven't seen it, but I want to.
Yeah, it is a comedy. It is a farce, but it also is a body horror comedy. And
right up my alley.
I think for a lot of people, that went right over their fucking head. And I really don't think it's for everyone. Like visually, I just think it will freak some people out.
Yeah.
But she is not only phenomenal in this film, but whatever PR team has got her going is put her on every fucking show, from Hot Ones to Jimmy Kimmel to Actors on Actors for Vanity Fair. I mean, she is fucking everywhere. Yeah. And more than that, she is revealing a side of herself that is humble, vulnerable, curious, intelligent. Just what a well-spoken, well-read, interesting person she is. And thriving.
Yes.
And I love
And doesn't take herself
that.
seriously, which is my favorite kind of celebrity.
Did you know she sings?
I did know that. Somehow, I don't know how, but I did know this.
She almost had a pop career. Well, sort of, I would almost call it like a Bonnie Tyler, you know, because she's got that raspy voice. But she almost had a pop career. She cut a 5 song demo.
Now this I didn't know.
Yes, she cut a 5-song demo track. One of the songs for sure was used by another artist on one of their albums. But yeah, she almost was a pop star.
That's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And she can sing.
Yes.
Like, she's good. I would, honestly, although I would say her daughter Rumor is...
Yeah. Rumor doesn't get credit either. The whole family really
Rumor
doesn't.
gets no credit whatsoever.
She's a great
for her
actress, a
talent.
great singer. Like,
Rumor can fuck it up.
Yes.
She's an amazing singer. Amazing singer. I think the only time people realized that was when she was on The Masked Singer or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I had gotten to see her perform live at a kind of a small venue, and she's amazing. Just no backing track, no,
Just her and a mic.
Near, yes, yeah. What a talented family, and I am just loving it. I'm loving to see people's not only their second act but their third act.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Pamela Anderson.
Yes. Who's totally breaking her old mold.
Completely,
Like,
and I
totally.
love it.
Yes.
And there's someone I think people have underestimated her entire career as well.
Oh yeah.
Because she's very intelligent.
Yes, extremely. And she was smart enough to play into the act. Into her,
Of course she was.
and into her favor as well.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, and now she's very smartly
she's kind of one of the first viral superstars before that was even a word, because she was found on a jumbotron at a hockey game.
Mm-hmm. And she basically had to sneak into the United States to start working.
Yes.
In fact, I saw her, there's like a Baywatch story or whatever. You know I love documentaries. She got caught trying to come in to America. She wore a dark wig.
Oh my
And she was trying to come in
gosh.
without a work visa. And they were like, no, bitch, you can't come in. And she basically had to like sneak into because she's Canadian.
Yeah.
She had to sneak into the United States to start working on Baywatch.
That is hilarious. I love it. Good for her.
But I love that. I love that third act. I think that's so
Yes.
inspiring for people as we are growing up. There's this very rigid trajectory that you're supposed to be on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you go to school and then college and then you get a job in college you meet your soulmate
Yeah.
and then you get a job and you get married and you have kids
Yeah.
and all. Like there's a very certain like trajectory
Yes.
you're supposed to be on.
Or
Like,
hell in entertainment. Once you're 30, you're dead.
oh my God, yeah. I've had friends
Like-
who people have told them, agents, producers have told them, if you haven't popped off before you're 30,
Mm-hmm.
give up.
Yep.
No.
Not at all.
No. Helen Mirren didn't have her first big
Right.
role until she was almost 50.
Right?
She'd been in stuff.
Hell, look at Billy Porter.
Thank you.
Yeah, he had like a small one-hit wonder, like R&B song way back in the 90s, but come on, he didn't get popping off until he's late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah. Even like look at, okay, sure. We certainly know like RuPaul has had a very long
Yes.
and illustrious career, but there was quite a
a
lull
long time.
between Supermodel and Snapshot and all that stuff
Yeah.
and the talk shows. Between that and Drag Race.
Yep.
Drag Race was
Long time.
kind of the last ditch effort.
Yeah.
And that could have
Gone or come.
gone nowhere.
Yeah.
And, it blew up. So, yeah, it's never too late. It is never too
Yeah.
fucking late. At all.
No, I'm like, keep going for your shit.
What are you supposed to do? Just die?
Literally. What is and how many stories do you hear of these people being like, oh, I was told I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't do that, and then bam, it happens. And those people are eating their words. Don't listen to everyone's advice unless it's something positive.
Honestly, there's so many people, especially obviously in this town and in this industry, who want to tear you down.
Mm-hmm.
And to some degree, I don't think you should ever tell someone to their face that they're not going to make it or
Exactly.
that they're a popcorn actress
Yeah.
or whatever.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, or whatever. But I do also on this level, I get it, because there are so many talented people. You do have to look for reasons to reject.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, you would cast everybody.
Yes.
You'd sign everybody.
Yep.
Everyone would have an album, right? You do have to look for reasons to reject. But there's never a reason
to shut someone down completely.
Thank you.
Yeah. There never is.
No.
You can give someone constructive criticism.
Sure.
Hey, work on this, work on that. I'd say do this and then come back maybe. Or maybe this isn't the agency for you, but, maybe try some other ones, but keep going to what you're doing. That doesn't hurt anyone.
No, if it's constructive, that means that they're trying to
help you out and guide
you.
you to something.
Like, I had a friend who went through the Groundlings, which, if y'all know what the Groundlings is, a lot of people from SNL come from the Groundlings. Jennifer Coolidge comes from the Groundlings. Yeah. Lisa Kudrow comes from the Groundlings. Yeah, she's taught
after Friends, mind you.
A lot of them do go back.
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
So, and they go back. They go back to perform there, and they go back to teach there, and all this stuff. But it's essentially a pay-to-play scenario.
Yes.
Up into a certain point. So you can go for your whatever, level 1, level 2 classes, and then there's a point, and you're paying for it, and it's not fucking cheap.
No.
But there's a point where for them to continue your journey with the Groundlings, you sort of have to pass the big test, whatever that big test is. And there are a number of people who, like my friend, put all their effort and money and work into it and didn't make it to that upper echelon. And what they told them was that they thought that their characters and their sketches were just a little juvenile. And that they could play a wider range of characters and like smarter characters and whatever. And this particular friend of mine really took that to heart as though they were being, rejected and told that they were, a child and all that stuff. I'm like, well, you could look at it that way.
Yeah.
But what I think this person is telling you is that you're capable of playing other things too. They're not telling you can't do this.
They're saying expand your horizons.
They're telling
you something you might not even thought about that you might excel at and might actually love doing.
So even though you didn't get to that upper level and what have you, I think you should take their criticism as meaning you have a lot more potential.
Yeah.
And that's
never completely untapped.
They never were like, oh, you suck, you should stop.
Yeah.
They were just like, you could play different characters.
Yeah.
You could play more elevated characters. And so they just really were so rejected by that. And I get it, because that hurts. Especially if you invested all this money and all this time into something.
And sometimes you box yourself in.
Right.
And you don't realize that you have other talents or that you can pivot your talent into something else you never even would have thought about. And
it can be hard to find that silver lining, but I do think, because I literally read the rejection letter, and I was like, I get it, and that stings.
Yeah, and it's going to.
That's hard.
Everyone has an ego to a certain extent.
But I think they're telling you that you're capable of more.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they really, who knows? Nobody takes my fucking advice. But I do feel like sometimes it's really easy to feel that sting
especially
of
in a creative space.
Yes.
Because you're already putting yourself out there.
Which is so hard.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. So there's certainly levels to it, but to hear how many incredibly successful people have been told they fucking suck.
Literally. Yes.
To the, you're ugly.
In those words.
Someone told Kate Beckinsale she was an ugly cunt.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I've only met her once, but she wasn't a cunt. And there's no way you could say she looked like...
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ. So, yeah.
Lord, you know who is ugly, though, on the inside? Have you been keeping up with this Justin and Blake Lively situation?
Oh, my God.
And the back and forth.
Somehow I think because I watched one video all the way through, it's in my algorithm where I am caught up on every single development of the lawsuit. These were the texts that were released. Here's the 80-page document from
Yes.
the court release. Yes. So unfortunately, against my will,
Yes.
I know everything about this.
Me too. And I'm sorry, and I'm really wanting to not be on the side of women. Don't get me wrong. But everything that she accused him of trying to smear her for has now been proven that she did. She did ice him out and the editors out of the entire creative process towards the end. Not only the text messages that her team released were clipped and didn't include the entire context from his PR people.
Always take screenshots. Good for him.
Yes.
For screenshotting and documenting everything.
Because I was kind of just whatever. I'm still kind of team no one because they're both just annoying me at this point.
I feel the same way. I do.
But
I also don't really know his story.
Yeah.
And it is very easy for me to believe that someone in his position could be inappropriate and whatever,
Yeah.
But she kind of seems like a real coos.
Yes, and now there are stories coming out from people who have worked with her previously that have similar stories about how she likes to twist the narrative into her favor, all the way to her first big acting gig in that Traveling Pants movie.
Ooh.
There is an intern that now is, I think, talent management, something like that. And she said she actually forgot all about this until, because, people do suppress memories.
Yeah, that's how we survive.
Yeah, but she basically said that, her mom was in casting and her dad was in the industry. And she even said, like I was a Nepo baby in that, in that sense. And she's like, but I did get an internship, and one of my first, jobs was on that Traveling Pants movie with Blake in it. And it was one of her big, things as well. She's like, and because I have grown around parents that have been in the industry, I know etiquette and protocol. So you're not to speak to the talent, that's it. She's like, I think my job on this day was to get water bottles for whoever needed it, all the extras, any of the crew. That was my one thing, was just to get water bottles for everyone. I'm not to speak to anyone. I'm not to interact with anyone. And she said that there was a narrow hallway, and she knew that she needed to turn to the side to let the talent go. It was that small. It was like a closet hallway.
Okay.
And so she did, or whatever. And then she said she'll never forget that they got an email saying that you guys need to make sure that you're acting accordingly, when it comes into regard to talent. She's like, oh, well, I already know this. This it's probably just a blanket email, just to remind anyone new to the set, whatever, what the protocol is.
Don't make eye contact.
Exactly, pretty much. And then she said, and then she got another one saying that they need to speak with her exclusively. And she was all, well, that's when I was like, well, about fucking what? I was getting water bottles for people. And she said that they basically told her that Blake had said that she was acting like a fan to her. And she was like, I don't know what she's like, I don't know if it's because we were both blonde and we look similarly and she might have been intimidated. She's like, I don't know. But all I know is that I never spoke to this woman. I never interacted with this woman. I didn't even get her a water bottle.
I didn't look her in the eye, I swear.
And she's like, not only that, but she's like, I didn't observe anyone else being unprofessional at all. We all were just kind of there. We did our jobs. We were quiet. We knew it was quiet on the set. We weren't talking to even each other when we were on set. So I didn't, she's like, I thought maybe it was someone else that might have looked like me. And she described, someone else. But she's like, I didn't even observe anyone at all even behaving remotely unprofessional at all. But she made a complaint about her. And and some other people have come out saying kind of the same thing, that she's had observed something and twisted into something else, and that she's just kind of a nightmare on set.
How has someone like that who, to this day, the biggest thing we know her for is fucking Gossip fucking Girl, which is not known for being any kind of high art whatsoever. Sorry, I love the show too, but let's be real. How has she continued to succeed?
Well, when you're married to fucking Ryan Reynolds.
But that happened way later.
Well, yeah, true. But I mean, I think that I think that this is the seed. This is how she was from start, and no one ever corrected it. So when that behavior doesn't get corrected from start, and she might have just been challenging her power at that time. And again, teenagers are bratty. I get it.
Sure.
But if no one corrects you and you continue this and you just continue to grow even slowly and no one still checks you on that behavior, and then people started bringing up that she had issues on Gossip Girl with half the cast.
Yeah, that's why there's not going to be any kind of Gossip Girl reunion.
Exactly. So when you're allowed to behave a certain type of manner and your star continues to grow, and then you couple up with someone whose star is already huge...
Which makes me also give a real side eye to Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, I give a side eye to anyone who is one a man, one a white man, one a straight white man, and one a straight white man who is charming and funny, I put that in quotes, to the masses, and handsome, because I just don't think you're that way in real life.
It's giving douchebag behind the scenes.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And this is what these texts have really shown.
Yeah. Oh, because she's going to get sued too.
She brought him in to help rewrite the script. He's not even part of the fucking project.
Well, he's going to get sued because he apparently in Deadpool and Wolverine made some sort of nuanced references to Justin with the nice pool man bun and the podcast and all these things. So he'll get sued too.
Yeah, so I mean, like, at this point, I'm really team no one, but I'm swaying more on Justin's side, especially when his text messages showed what she had in her lawsuit, but his were completed text messages that actually added more context to what people were talking about. And included the editor's and included him being like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to take the L, basically. I can't go up against these two. Like, and I know that sounds dumb with me being my project, but I'm not a bigger name than Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. No. So we made the movie, but he didn't see the final cut of the movie. They blocked him and the editors from that.
Well, because she had her own cut.
Oh, yes, exactly. And that's what was shown. She iced him out of the premiere, which would have been his first time seeing his project, but her cut of it, which shouldn't have been a thing in the first place. All the messages that she obtained from his PR team that she leaked were all sliced and diced to be in her favor. They weren't even the complete situation that painted her in a bad light. Just that they were trying to do what PR teams do and squash whatever's going on, but conveniently left out everything that was like, oh my god, she's a fucking nightmare, and we don't know what angle they're going to go at because they've iced him out, and we don't know. There's no communication, so we just have to put this out and what we know for truth to clear his name, and then hopefully let the movie speak for itself.
Well, and the other people, like that reporter who released the clip of the interview with Blake being super rude to her, and all that stuff came out as well, which had nothing to do with Justin or his team whatsoever. That was from years ago. That had no relationship whatsoever to this project at all.
No, like, there's a common denominator here. When you go down the pipeline and it's not him. I mean, even the messages saying, he literally said, you know what, we all made a baby, and hopefully it comes out right. Let's just try to ease this over with the press and, all, all the junkets and stuff, and let's just get through this. And I'm sorry, editor number 1, number 2, that you couldn't
What a fucking
even be
nightmare.
allowed to see what they're working on now behind the scenes with their own editing team, which is insane.
Can you imagine spending years of your life bringing a project to fruition, regardless of, again, like kind of Team No One, I don't know what he's really like, whatever, but spending years of your life, and this is to date your biggest project.
Yeah.
Possibly your breakout project. And some fucking spoiled brat
Mm-hmm.
ruins the whole... Because the movie flopped.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, where are your florals? Yeah, okay, Blake.
Right.
No.
Yep, took over the entire fucking project. And then even about the whole, he walked in when I was breastfeeding. He showed the text saying that she said, come on in.
And she wasn't breastfeeding, she was pumping.
She was pumping. Yes, but she gave him full permission to enter the room.
Mm-hmm.
So, where is this, like...
So there's an old adage, which is to get your side of the story out first. Which I feel she is very good at. Because once you hear that, once you hear something
that's when public opinion is going to go onto your side.
Right, and I see this all the time in the
And then it's like, it's true because he wasn't there with the rest of the cast, so the cast must be against him. But now the cast, most of them are on his side.
Yeah. Well, whatever you hear first, it's going to, it's hard to make people unbelieve something.
Exactly, especially when the optics are there as well.
Yeah. Because
he wasn't there at the premiere, but now we know he was iced out. He didn't even know what the fuck movie he was going to be watching. She was inviting cast members to different things and didn't even let him know about it. Like, girl. I hope her career's ruined, honestly. Don't care.
We'll see.
That is some Karen bullshit right there. That is some rich white woman Karen BS. And I hate that when women play the victim when they don't need to. Because then it hinders other women who have legitimate concerns about misconduct on set and being mistreated and being berated and stuff. It's like...
Well, and it furthers the narrative that women can be or are manipulative, liars, that they're backstabbing, that they're two-faced, that they're... Right, like that kind of perpetuates this idea that...
You have that versus a Kate Beckinsale that has legitimate concerns about things.
Mm-hmm.
Just a mess.
It sure is. But now I'd like to segue into a new feature on the show.
Ooh.
Called We're Not Judging.
Oh, yes.
We've done a few of these. Is this a direct ripoff of We Listen and We Don't Judge? I mean, sure. But...
Also, who else isn't fucking doing that goddamn challenge? So...
True. Well, there is a very popular drag queen podcast that...
Oh, there is?
Kind of stole this idea from.
Oh, okay.
So...
I just saw all the TikToks.
I love that you're not online all the time and that you don't know when I steal things from people.
No, not at all. I just thought of the challenge on TikTok and that's about it.
So... This is the part of the show, and I would like to open this up. We'll follow us on social, look at the notes, our show notes. You can follow us on socials. We will open this up anonymously.
Always. We never give out your information unless you want us to.
We never would tell on you. But if you would like to tell a tale about something that you did that was kind of bad, we won't judge you.
We haven't judged each other yet. We've had some doozies.
Okay. So, We're starting the year off. New year, new us. But what's something that old us did that maybe was a little controversial? I feel like I started last time, so I'm going to let you start this time.
I'll start this time. Ooh, let me think for just a second. We can edit if needed. And I gotta find a good one. Nope, talked about that one. Ooh, oh God. I was about to say don't judge me, but that's the whole point of the segment, so never mind.
We're not judging.
I slept with a friend of an ex.
Like on purpose?
Okay, so what had happened was... So...
I'm sorry, it's a smoke, y'all.
Yes, I had this ex, and he was not a good one. And we did not break up on good terms at all. And he had this friend that was very attractive, but when I'm with you, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we live in LA, there are attractive people in fucking every corner. That doesn't faze me at all. It is what it is. Well, 2 years later, this person reached out to me, just like, hey, how have you been? Yada, yada, yada. And that was it. And then maybe 2 weeks later after that, we ran into each other at a bar. I was about 3 martinis in. They'd had some shots. And they confessed that they'd always been attracted to me. And that they no longer speak to this person because they're a horrible person. Basically, they just discovered this. And we ended up hooking up that night. And that's not my normal situation. This is like 10 years ago. But it was fun. I have no regrets about it. So,
yeah.
It was out of character for me, but you know what? Whatever.
I don't even think that's that bad. I mean...
I don't do a lot of bad things. That's the thing. I have way too much of a moral compass. I've discovered.
True. God, we're never going to make it in Hollywood.
I know. No, I'm cutthroat.
That's why we're still an independent podcast.
I'm cutthroat when I need to be. Trust me. But yeah, that was always one of my big internal rules of like, don't sleep with like an ex's friend. You know, it's not good optics.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, because, you know, there's telephone and then there's telefag. So
exactly. Two different fucking communication systems.
Yes. Anything you do in the gay community will absolutely get around.
Yes.
Everybody, even people that don't know you, are going to know your drama.
Exactly. Yes.
Did that cross your mind at the time?
Oh no, I was in my I don't give a fuck mode. Again, it was martini 2.5 at that point in time. He was looking like a snack. He was looking at me like I was a piece of steak. And what happened. Yeah. And it was great. So no regrets. Besides stepping outside of my character.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens. I don't think that's that bad. Again, I'm not judging. I'm here to support you.
You are the sluttier of the two of us, though. So
I swear to God, I think I was like 19 or 20, like in college or something, and literally one of my friends was like, "Wes, why are you such a slut?" And I was like,
You're sexually liberated.
I'm friendly. Like, exactly. What do you mean? Just because I hooked up with 3 different guys in 3 different days, it wasn't the same day.
Hey, as Monique said, look, I wasn't loose. I wasn't a hoe. I just have friendly pussy.
Thank you. I was getting to know myself and other people.
There you go.
Also, why am I such a slut? Because I can be.
Exactly. Life's too goddamn short. We've all learned that in the last year. But the last 4 years, I should say.
Truly.
Do what the fuck you want to do at this point.
You know what? And this goes back to what we were saying about it's never too late. I don't want to be one of those motherfuckers who gets to a point in their life where I say, I wish I'd done this. I'd rather say, I wish I hadn't done this.
Exactly.
Because at least I have
you've done it. And you lived.
I wouldn't repeat that.
Exactly, except for on this segment. But
Sure. But I would much rather be in a position to say, oh, I probably wouldn't do that again. I wish I hadn't done that.
Yeah.
Versus being like, oh man, I wish I'd really gone for that.
Mhm.
Or, oh, I wish I'd tried this. Or, oh, I don't want to do
Yeah.
that. I don't want my life to be.
Do it all, then take notes afterwards.
Thank you. Speaking of which, here's the time I committed grand larceny.
Oh shit! Yeah, you blew me out of the water this week. Oh my god! Wait, what? Was not prepared for that one.
Okay, so I I think every story that I've told here could have landed me in jail. So I'm so lucky, by the way. All the drugs I've done, all the shit that I've done, I'm so lucky I've never overdosed.
You already have lived.
I've never
You
been
have
in
lived,
jail.
honey.
I've never gotten arrested. I've
Yeah.
never, all these fucking things. I didn't even tell y'all about the 2 times I almost got arrested in Mexico when I was there for the last month.
Oh my god, that's right. That's recent, by the
I-
way. If you didn't hear the last
It
month
was
part,
an accident.
it really was. He had nothing to do with it.
It wasn't my fault.
I did panic when you sent me it.
Yeah. But this one I really could have gone to jail for. So I was working at a retail outlet and I had a bestie that I have traveled the world with and that I was working with at the time. We just coincided to where we were working at the same place at the same time. And this is someone who I'm not telling on him because he has passed away.
Yes.
So you can't put him in jail. And the statute of limitations, I'm pretty sure, has passed. So
Yeah.
you can't put me in jail either. But we were working at a retail outlet and it was the end of the day. Everyone had gone home and we were the last 2 that were there. In walks a customer.
I'm on Lindsay Lohan.
I won't say who it was, but it was someone who was
In that time era, very, very possible.
could have been. And it was someone who just, from the moment they walked in, you could just tell that they were money is no object kind of person.
Lindsay Lohan.
And
Circa 2003.
it was not Lindsay Lohan. We did not fleece Lindsay Lohan.
If you're on TMZ tomorrow, I apologize. I'm making this up in my head. I swear to God, I know nothing about this story.
But they wanted to buy all this shit. And we were already we were a retail outlet. We weren't like a store. It wasn't that kind of situation. It wasn't like, oh, it's the Gap. We're open from 9 to 5. No, we're an outlet. We were mainly doing mail order stuff.
Yeah.
But they had come in and they wanted to buy a bunch of items and they wanted to buy in bulk and they wanted to do all this stuff. And we're like, well, we can give you a better discount if you pay in cash.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Meanwhile, I was in a position where I was responsible for inventory.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew how to adjust the computer for the inventory status of particular items. I also knew the system well enough to know that you couldn't really do a forensic dive into this system to see when things had been changed. It wasn't that kind of...
They were just there or they weren't?
They were there, it wasn't there. It wasn't like, oh, on this date, so-and-so changed this to whatever. It just, that didn't... There was no report that you could print up.
There were 18 boxes of this, and then there were 9.
Right. I'm sure if you were a computer smarty, that you could have figured it out. But...
Given the staff on hand, no.
Given, and even the ownership, that wasn't going to happen. So this person spent well over $1,000 on our merchandise, which we had at that point, like I said, no one else was there. We closed and locked the door, so no one else could come in, and we treated this person like fucking royalty. And they had just continued to let things slip throughout the encounter where they don't live here. They're from fucking... Excuse me, again, it's the fucking smoke, you guys. they're from out of the fucking country,
Yeah.
and they're going back tomorrow, and like
Yeah.
just literally everything they were
Every
saying,
little
we're like,
flag that they were.
this is the perfect crime. Like this is not someone who's going to walk back in next week
No.
and want the same deal.
Yeah.
So oh my God, we just bagged everything up and put little bows on everything, and everything was just so precise and so beautiful. And they handed over the cash, and once they left, we split that cash. And I adjusted the inventory.
I am dead.
And that was that. And we were each $500 richer.
Ah! Now that's the kind of eat the rich I don't mind.
We didn't, they got their stuff. They
Yeah.
paid for it.
The company didn't miss the money, obviously.
Oh, please.
Exactly. They're probably making hand over foot every day anyways.
But especially at that level,
Yeah.
when you're especially when you're breaking that $1,000 level,
Yeah.
that's a major crime.
Oh, yeah, that's a felony,
Like, you can go
honey.
to jail for like
Yes.
3 to 5 years
Uh-huh.
for that. So, yeah, I did that.
You beat me this week. Totally.
I did that. I kind of sometimes I feel like, should I regret it? And then I don't.
No.
Would I do it again? No.
No.
Now I'm so paranoid about fucking everything.
Right.
Like, I can't possibly even roll through a four-way stop. But at that particular time,
You also don't drive that well, so it's good that you
that's
don't.
true. They all traffic.
That was not shade. Wes says this all the time about himself, so that was not shade towards him.
Been in multiple collisions and totaled my car at least 5 times. So
Yeah.
I'm not a great driver. You don't want me to drive anywhere. But yeah, just at that particular time in my world,
Hey, whatever.
it presented itself, and I took that opportunity.
That was the universe saying, "Go ahead."
What did I spend the money on? I don't know.
Who
I don't
knows?
remember. I don't remember.
And for good reason.
I don't know.
Hey, no memory.
We might have
You don't
used
know.
some of that cash to go on a trip, actually.
That was my first guess, actually.
We
I was
might
going to be
have.
like, is that how you guys went on that trip?
Because we went all over
With
the
that
world.
sketchy-ass driver?
Yes, we literally went all over the world. We went to Central America.
Yeah.
We went to, there's so many places we went to. And that probably was part of that probably bought a plane ticket somewhere.
Money well spent.
I agree.
You guys deserve a vacation. Hey. Not mad at it.
Oh my gosh. Well, despite the chaotic sort of Mad Max vibes that we are existing
Literally.
in here in
Oof.
LA, I am still so happy to be home and so glad that we are reunited in person.
Yes. No more sketchy Wi-Fi.
No, and I know each of us have been through a lot of things in this last year.
Ugh. God, especially me the last couple of months. Jesus
Yeah, I
Christ.
feel like yours was compounded into the last couple months. Where mine was like
Yes.
sporadic over time. Yours was
Yeah.
all like
Like, holy
At
fuck,
once.
what the fuck is going on? Yeah.
I honestly, we've talked a little bit about it on the show, not too much, but I have to say, like, I have so much admiration because that would have broke all the stuff that's happened to you would have just broke me. It would have just
Meanwhile, I laugh about it. Like,
mentally, physically, spiritually would have just broke me. And
I'm going to cry after the show. It's all right.
the
It's
fact that you have had the wherewithal to continue to push forward positive attitude.
Oh, thank you.
It really is, like, it's inspiring.
Don't make me cry in air.
No, it really is. Like, it's, because it's hard to see your friends go through difficult times.
Yeah.
And I have seen you meet every challenge
Thank you.
with
That means a lot. I'm not going to lie.
a lot of reserve and self-respect and regard, and I really think that your like fortitude and your mental disposition has
Well, thank
pushed you
you.
through all this shit.
I'm trying. Lord knows it's been a lot.
I
the
know
last
it's been a
couple of
struggle,
months.
but yeah, because it's been just literally each week
It's
is a new fucking drama for you.
something.
Yeah.
And I'm used to being the one that's like the therapist for all my friends, honestly. Like, but oof, yeah, if y'all knew what was going on behind the scenes, it's been a rough couple of months for me.
It's been a lot,
Yeah.
but we're reunited and it
Yes,
feels
and we're back in person and it feels good.
so good.
It felt good to hug you when I walked in the door, even though I forgot the code to get into the Wonder Studios today.
It's been that long.
It's been. It's probably also just smoke in my fucking system
That's
and
true.
fucking up my brain.
Yeah.
Because I was looking like a damn crackhead, putting in every. I'm like, I know this. I know what this is. Why is this not clicking?
Oh, I'll tell you a secret after the show. It's going to make you laugh so hard.
Oh God. Okay.
But I also want to thank our listeners for sticking with us through thick and thin. Believe it or not, there was a big dip for us for a while, and then over the last couple months, we have
Good.
popped back up with our downloads and people listening, and I just really appreciate everyone who has continued to support the show. If you really love us, you might subscribe to our Patreon. The link is in our show notes. And
We're
for
a cheap date.
a mere $3
We
a
are
month,
a cheap date, honey.
you
cheap
can
date.
support our show and keep us going. We have a lot of stuff in store for 2025 as long as the world does not burn down around us. And it might.
Literally.
But
We say that normally just hypothetically.
No,
but
literally.
Literally, we're like, we don't know where the fuck.
Literally and physically, this might happen. But we also have some cool things happening on the horizon. So our thanks go out to you. And
Happy New Year. Please stay
happy fucking
safe.
New Year. Oh my God.
Half the
yes.
nation's covered in ice, half of it's on fire. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. I hope that we can give you 45 minutes to an hour where you can just
Unwind.
yeah,
Laugh at us, 'cause we laugh at ourselves.
That's all we can ask for,
Literally.
honestly, at this point.
Use us
because-
as your fluff show just to. If some shit's going down in your day-to-day life, just listen to us and just laugh at our shenanigans because we're quite entertaining.
We try.
And our stories are actually true, so...
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out our sponsors and our show notes and save some money by using our coupon codes. Until next time,
Goodbye.
bye.